I want to tell you a secret. As somebody who was born in New York, grew up in the States, traveled throughout Europe, and moved to Israel at the age of 27, has a family, understands the cultural and perceptual differences about how Israel is viewed in the West, because I'm a child of the West, and I'm now a son of Israel, geographically and in also DNA. I want to share with you one of the great deceptions in the 20th, 21st century. The deception is that you have been led to believe that the problem between Hamas, the PLO, and Israel is a political problem. On the day of the massacre, as my son Michael flew in the helicopters to carry the dead bodies of children to safety, the narrative in the West is that the Israel-Palestinian conflict continues. This is not an Israeli-Palestinian conflict. If you look at the literature, ladies and gentlemen, and among us here are the great intellectual leaders of our universities, of our ambassadorial diplomatic community, you will only come to one conclusion, which the Hamas taught us on October 7th. The Hamas said it's a jihad. And you know something? As somebody who wrote a doctorate on the PLO has been saying since 1964, it is a jihad. Yasser Arafat was a member of the Ikhwan in the 1950s, the Muslim Brotherhood. Guess what? The Hamas is the local chapter of the Muslim Brotherhood. And do you know what it says in the charter of the Hamas from 1988? Have you seen it in Italian? It says that the end of days will not come until the Jews are killed. It is a genocidal statement about Jews, not about Israel. And the PLO statements about jihad from its first charter in 1964 and its second charter in 1968 is about jihad. It's a religious concept. It's not a national concept. There's no negotiation from the point of view of Palestine Liberation Organization or Hamas or Palestinian Islamic Jihad with Israel. Otherwise, the territorial peace offers that Israel made, thinking it was a territorial conflict, hoping in the urgency of reaching a peaceful agreement, because as you know, the Jews are not those that advance jihad. The Jews are not those that advance genocide. That's not in our DNA. And when Israel offered a Palestinian state out of a pacifistic impulse in 2000, 1967, the division of a Jewish and Arab state already back when the UN offered in 1947, rejected by the Palestinian leadership. 1967, rejected by the Palestinian leadership. 2000, summer, rejected by the Palestinian leadership. Unilateral retreat from Gaza. Look today, Gaza is a state. Of course, the Israeli security is around because of, we didn't do a good enough job, did we? But the Hamas state is a state. It's not they're looking for a state. It's one of the best pieces of real estate in the whole Middle East. Rejected. Another offer, Prime Minister Barak, 2001, rejected. Unilateral retreat from Gaza, 2005, rejected. Another offer, 2014, President Obama, rejected. Another offer in 2008, in 2018 and 2020, the Trump plan, rejected. So why 7 rejections? Because for them it's not a territorial conflict, it's jihad. What is the proof to what I'm telling you? That I'm not exaggerating. Do you remember back 100 years ago in the British Mandate Palestine? In 1922, the British appointed Hajj Amin al-Husseini from the Husseini family to protect, to be the first supreme Islamic authority, who was really a political authority more than an Islamic authority, but he was Islamic authority. And you know what one of the great first actions he took? He said, Al-Aqsa is in danger. Now, this was 25 years before the founding of Israel. The Jews wanted to pray in their ancient Western Wall area. And Hajj Amin al-Husseini said, no, the Jews are endangering Al-Aqsa. Do you know that that term, just like from the river to the sea, Palestine will be freed, the Jews are endangering Al-Aqsa, is today what the Hamas uses about Jerusalem? Do you know that the Jews are endangering Al-Aqsa was what caused the last 3 outbreaks of genocidal anti-Semitism and murder by the Hamas in 2008, 9, 2012, 2014, 2018, 2021, when they almost succeeded to create an internal jihad within Israel among some of the cities in Israel, even though the vast majority of Israeli Arabs are loyal and patriotic citizens of Israel, and with us together under this threat. But the point is that Al-Aqsa is in danger has been the guiding principle of the Palestinian National Islamic movement, not 2 states for 2 peoples. And when you go into campuses with Milano or Rome or New York or California, and you hear from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, it is referencing the religious, ideological, genocidal rejection of the Jews. It's not about 2 states. They don't support Mahmoud Abbas and the Palestinian Authority. No, never, not on one campus, not in one demonstration that you will see, not one. It's all the Hamas. Why? Because it's a total genocidal, ideological campaign against the Jews that Dr. Nierenstein talked about. And this is the deception that we must understand has been advanced against all of us. And it is really one of the most successful deceptions, because I'm sure that in your dinner tables and when we go to restaurants, we say, you know, what is going to happen with this Israeli-Palestinian conflict? It's not about a conflict. It's a continuation of what happened in the Nazi period. It is a mutation of a catastrophic, terminal, cancerous disease. And that's why from October 7th now, it is really our responsibility to recognize the disease, to fight the disease, and to overcome this deception, this not only a deception, but it is disinformation. And you saw it now with the hospitals, and you saw it with the Hamas reporting. The Hamas, the same people that incinerated this young girl, the same people that incinerated this young girl and her family in Kibbutz Be'eri, are you going to trust their numbers? Are you going to trust them for what they tell you are the casualty figures in Gaza? This is the important message I have for you. Please know that the Palestinian Authority that your tax dollars go to fund, 60% of their budget goes to fund the Hamas. And every Hamas fighter receives a lifelong pension from the Palestinian Authority. Every Hamas terrorist receives a lifelong pension from the Palestinian Authority. So please know that there is no difference in practice, rhetorically, between the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PA, and the Hamas, one. And two, please understand that today, as we sit in Rome, and with this I finish, that the notion of Al-Aqsa is in danger is the jihadistic declaration that still guides the Palestinian genocidal campaign against Israel, which unfortunately has so many cheerleaders in the West. It is this global jihad that we must reject, return to the foundations of Judeo-Christian society and rationality and liberalism, as my dear friend Senator Terzi has reminded us today, and to understand that anti-Semitism today must be understood to be part and parcel of the DNA of anti-Zionism, anti-Semitism. Thank you so very much.